gave some excuse, and she comes in and they get into, the husband and wife got into an argument, and he began to hit her. So, she ran out of the house. So he comes back to the
husband.
And she's up and she's quiet. So the husband says, the wife says to the wife, "No, tell me, what did you see?" So she doesn't answer, So he said, "If you're not going to tell me, I'm going to hit you." She said, "Oh, so you know how to make a statement. Why'd you send me next door,
I heard this usually go use it the first time to say that.
Everybody doesn't behave?
Everybody says now you use it.
Who doesn't know how to make a statement?
מי שימוצא חומש בסוף מועד, that's a good thing.
Okay, go to Tough Iron Base. Or actually, Tough Iron Al Erev Pesach Achashor Ceases.
Okay.
Is it too late to bring in the... No?
Actually, all the important thing. Okay. Kol Adam.
Tough Ayin Beis?
Tough Ayin Aleph.
Tough Iron Aleph. Kol Adam Av She'ena Istanis. Osala Lechel Pas Dahainu Matzah Shira K'mo she's by Mitchil Shor Asidas Be'erev Pesach Ad Halayla. That means what this is. Matzah Shira means what we call egg matzah. Now, egg matzah is not really chometz. And there are people that they eat it during Pesach. But the problem with egg matzah is that that they mix water with mei peiris, so the shet aloshen it's memaher lahachmetz. It's more become quicker chometz than the regular matzah.
Mei peiris or eggs?
They have eggs and they have some water in it also.
Water, but the mei peiris doesn't make it mamaha.
But it have also water.
If water, that's the water.
So now there are some people that they do eat egg matzah during Pesach. Usually on the boxes of egg matzah, I think it says that it's for old people, elderly people, or sick people. But this year in particular, there's a problem. The problem is that if Pesach comes out on Shabbos. So the question is, when do you do the Bia Chometz? I mean, we'll be learning about this one, but when do you do the Bia Chometz? And what do you do with the Suda Shabbos? And what do you do with Shal Shudas? So to go through briefly all these questions, most popular thing is that Erev Pesach, you have to have lechem mishnah, but you can't eat matzah Erev Pesach. So some people use mei peiris, egg matzah, but egg matzah becomes a shayla after later on in the day. Could you eat it also? So before we go into that, but let me just finish what I started over here. So the most popular thing is that we wash and we have two little chalalach, and usually the suda is all a Pesach dika suda. Whatever you make, a fish or chicken or whatever, it's all a Pesach dika suda. But and you daven earlier, because it has to do before the zman. You have to finish before the zman, and then usually keep the two chalalach separately on a little paper or what, and with a cover, and you eat up the whole thing. You don't leave over anything. And if you left over some crumbs, so you flush it down the toilet, and you say the bittul chametz called chamira. That's when you say it. Usually, on a regular year, when we burn the chametz like before Pesach, so we say it then. But now we burn the chametz in the regular time.
Friday.
In order not to forget for other years that last year we did it this way, and thinking that that's the way you always have to do it. And some people use egg matzah. So I tell you, egg matzah is
The concept of not eating matzah before the Seder is anything that looks like matzah, or only the matzah that you eat at the Seder? Because you could eat chametz matzah.
Yeah.
If that's what we do. The question is, we don't eat anything that looks like matzah, or it has to dafka be only the kosher Pesach matzah?
It's a kosher Pesach matzah.
So it means if there's no Indian in not eating egg matzah, let's say now for the next 4 weeks till.
Egg matzah is a different thing. The minhag that not to eat matzah at all, that's a different minhag.
So on that minhag, then we don't eat any type of matzah. Chametz matzah.
No, it's matzah that you could be yaitza, because he talks over here later in we'll see it. He talks over here about matzah, that's matzah kfula on the fucha.
Right.
Kfula on the fucha means
Yes.
that especially is very common. I don't know I get matzah to send out to people. It comes in a box, and it's flat matzahs. But over here, the matzahs come like mountains, up and down, and the matzahs look like the map of the United States. Different states, every matzah is a different shape. But a lot of it comes what's called kefula. Kefula means that the matzah is bent, and it's very common. And I don't know. I didn't see it by other matzahs, and I think it's the fault of the oven. I don't know. They have better ovens, Pasha. So they talk over here about if you could eat at a Pesach these matzah. We'll soon get that. But over here he's talking about. Let's start. You'll soon see why I'm getting to this. Kol adam af she'ena istinus also lagachol pas. Now, what does it mean pas? Matzah you're not allowed to eat. So what does it mean pas? So pas is, he said, the hainu matzah shira. That you're also not allowed to eat from shor asidus. Mitchilu shor asidus ba'erev Pesach ad halayla. And the reason is because they should yechel matzah b'rayla to the oven, that when he has to eat matzah at night, he should have a desire for it. Ubein sha'ayem Arוך, ubein sha'ayem katzah, v'oilam osel alecha mitchilas via yem ha'achron ad halayla. In other words, from 3/4 of the day. So, Bafilu lahaschol kaidem shor asidus, also im yedei shetim sherasuda atech shor asidus. Because avo mutalacho ma'at peiris. You got to eat fruit, ma'at yirakas, vegetables, ben chayim, ben b'shalom. It makes a difference if they're cooked or they're fresh. Oy ma'at tafshol, or also mechameshes aminim. If you have something that you cook from chesed aminim, then it's bashlo b'mei peiris. You can't take the chamesh amina and cook it and make a soup out of it, because it'll be chametz. It will become chametz. So if the soup was made from juice, so you're allowed to eat it, because you're allowed to drink. But this is all la'anoig and heter b'mei peiris. To those that eat mei peiris at a oy ma'od basar v'dagim. Ugvino, ubeitzim. So all these things you're allowed to eat. V'chein shar kol haminim sheloi osu ela pas bovad. Only actual, what we call bread. Shesoedus es halev. It sates the heart. Shenema b'lechem uvav enesh yisod. U'mikomak b'hitiru v'shara minim el ma'at. But you shouldn't eat a lot of it, Because vinidvi, it will have an effect on your being able to eat later the matzah. V'chein, yochel lishtes kol hamashkim, you can drink any drinks, chutz v'yayin, except wine, because wine you have to drink for the dalit chayses. Shelo yishte mimenu ma'at, mepnei shehu soyed, and shehu soyed as halev, k'moy pas, aber hava yayin yochel lishtes, mepnei shehu shaisa mahava ma'at mimenu, hu goyre hatayva amaychel. It makes you an appetite to drink. ומכל מקום לא ישתהה כל כך עד שיהיה סובר בוודאי הוא מקלקל טייבס המייכל. There's a lot of dry, then it surely has an effect on the food.
So at the end of the day, we drink grape juice or wine on Erev Pesach?
According to here, you could. But we feel that anything that we have by the Seder we don't need on Erev Pesach.
Not everything, only it's on the Kaira.
What's the Kaira? And then matzah also we don't do. Some wine, we'll soon see if he talks about. Mishu Istinus. Istinus is a person that, that is very finicky. She'af kashu oichel ma'at b'yayim misho asiris v'eirech lo yuchel lecho b'layla l'tayaven. You already have it. You can't eat already anymore. I've had some food I can't eat anymore. Also, which you said before that it's permissible, but this is kaidem shor asidus muta lecho pas al derech she nizbai b'simin reish memtes umahi apashi yecho. So what is the pas? He goes on to explain. Sharei chometz ain't yochel lecho mishor chamishas ve'elech. Chometz you can't eat after the 5th hour. Umatzah ain't yochel lecho kol hayom me'amoid hashachar ve'elech. Because the Baal she'osach hacham kol lecho matzah be'erev Pesach kilu beil aris osa bebeis chomav. Kaidem she'yech nisanu l'chuppah. It means like at night is like the wedding, and so if you have a relationship during the day, it's not permissible. The husband that would do such a thing. So all that's left to eat is matzah shira. Dahainu she'ira bo mei peiris she'osu chacham melecho be'erev Pesach al matzah she'odom yochel losses bo yidei chavosah b'layla. Aber matzah shira ein yotzim bo commotion is by b'simin tov so mele so I was saying. He's saying so what is it that you could eat? Chametz you can't eat, regular matzah you can't eat. So all that you could eat is matzah shira. Ein nika matzah shira, elim kain tam me pedis nigish b'matzah. Avol im ira bo ma'at me pedis ve'ein tam nigish bo ein nika matzah shira v'asalecha b'erev Pesach. He's saying that the matzah shira that's also, you have to feel. That's the problem with all these like Mazonus rolls and everything. Is also you have it's not just to have some juice in it, but you have to feel it, taste it. B'chol zeh b'mekayim shenoigen lasas matzah shira. When do we say it's mutter if they make it? Avo kwan is by b'simin tov summer base. Shemadin is ain't noigen chal lasas matzah shira. Now the Rebbe is against it entirely. Now he says matzah kfula and fucha. Matzah kfula means that it's bent over, and the fucha means that it's blown up. That's like there's a vacuum in it. Shen is by b'simin Tov Samach Aleph, she'oisen oiser b'achil b'Pesach, misafik, what's the suffix? Shema nischamtza, apo pikein oser l'oicha b'erev Pesach. Afilu koidem shor chamishes, sheyesh locha shema loy nischamtza, u'matzah gemurahim. Because especially this man hazeh, amol gezeiten, the matzah was a thick thing. The matzah was like thick. It was up an inch thick. Today they make thin matzahs. So they want to say that the whole shayla of matzah kafula doesn't really apply, because the matzah is very thin and the oven is very hot, so it right away it bakes through it. That on the thin ones, b'zman hazeh, u'matzah gemurahi v'asa lecha matzah b'erev Pesach. Matzah.
The time of the Alter Rebbe, they already made thin matzahs.
Huh?
The time of the Alter Rebbe, they already made thin matzahs.
They made.
Thin matzahs like we have.
The time of the Alter Rebbe, he
The
says.
Baal Shem Tov started these months, the ones that we had.
And the Alter doesn't mention any cooler on the thin matzah.
But noch a Satz, Matzah Kfula Menufucha, during Chalamoy Pesach, what do we do with it?
What?
If somebody opens up a box of matzah, you have matzah of Kfula and Menufucha, on Chalamoy Pesach,
break off
what
that piece.
do you do with it?
First of all, the state in Svarim that erev Pesach you should check your matzahs.
Okay.
That's number one. That's stated in a lot of Haggadahs that erev Pesach you should check your matzahs. It's checked for kefulas or nefuchas. Now, nefucha you usually don't have. Nefucha means that it's so much space in there. It's not just a little bubble. It's the size of a hazelnut. You know, those little nuts that they play with on Chometz. So, and you hardly have that. Forget that you have that more by a thick matzah, because it has a place for it to expand. But the little matzah that it's not. He's saying now there's not mamish chametz. If someone finds chametz for Pesach, so if it's in Yantiv, it's kaifal of kli, and then you have to burn it after Ichal Moed. If you find Ichal Moed, you burn it right away.
So I'm saying if a person didn't check it on Pesach, he opens up a bag.
So I'm telling you,
You have to cover it
no
right
big
away.
deal. You take it, you break it off, and don't eat that piece. It doesn't make the whole matzah chametz. Just break that piece. You don't eat that piece because you don't know if that piece itself was.
How do you
good.
know the whole matzah doesn't become chametz?
No, the whole it doesn't. It's not like tummy. It doesn't become tummy, of course. If it has, you're worried that piece not.
If that matzah is a shtickle chametz,
No.
that entire matzah becomes
No. First of all,
why?
You can break it off.
First of all, it depends if it's chutim nimshochem. If it stretches like gum that it stretches. Now it says matzah shenefes ketikuno ve'achakach nesparera. In other words, they have it in the
Matzah milk.
no, not matzah milk, farfel.
Oh, farfel.
They call it farfel.
It's not so fine. It's pieces.
Bein b'mayim, bein b'shal mashkin, u'meperes v'nizbashlo apapi shaprusas kayemes, bein yishmevochem aleim amoitzi. In other words, if you had bread and you cooked the bread, so if it still has the shape and everything, then you still make a moitzi. Uberchas birchas hamazon. Apple became mutter le'ochel b'erev Pesach kaidem shor asiris she'adam yachal lotzes bo yidei chavasa b'layla. So again, it's something that you can't be yaitzer. Be'im ein haprusas kayemes. If the pieces it's so much crumbled that it no longer has the form of matzah. The hainu she'ein mehem kazayis be'eshem mevochem aleim b'rei minim zaynis umein sholish mutar le'ochem ap mishor asiras u'mayla, because this is not a matzah that what you could be yaitzer. Kivin she'ein aleim titus pas chal in le'es brachim matzah shenefes ketikuno ואחר כך נספר אפילו פירורים דקים, עושה לאכול הפירורים בערב פסח. ואדם יוצא בו ידי חבוסי. שעדיין תירס לחם עליהם, וכל דבר כמו שנסבר. That depends. If the shape remains, and it's still, if it got entirely soaked in the matzah, and
No,
so
this
then
was not soaked. This was dry. This is dry. These fiber means
Right.
just crumbs. It wasn't too water.
Someone who was sick who can't chew, they could eat this matzah.
no, he says v'im chazav v'losh es hapirurim halalu. If he made again a dough out of these crumbs, biyayin v'shemen usham mashkin umay peiris v'loy bishchon v'loy tignon achakach. He pasted it together. He used the pasted together. Yesh l'stapek im hi nikras matzah shira ki yesh roima kivan shekva nefes. Ba'ini, in other words, it was baked before just as flour and water. Later he made it over with made potatoes. Alpha became aina kaidala lechem oini. Ani kaidala lechem oini. It's still called lechem oini. Shebeshah shenasis when lechem. The hind of the shas afiyah, hoisa ba'ini, because it was only flour and water. So that's the suffix. Or the
No, it's not a brook, it's not water.
or the suffix is oyeh shleima, or maybe he could say kivish, and it's part of once it became very crummy. And then he goes and he kneads it again. B'mei peiris. Harei nishtana mimasha hoisa, v'nifka mimeno. Shmo Harishon, Venasa Matzah Shir, Ofirach Yesh Hachman, Shrei Lotzes Bo Yidei Chavosah BePesach, because maybe it's considered Matzah Shira, Ki Shem Mi Matzah Shira, V'gam Shrei L'Oicho Be'er Pesach, Ki Shem Meinu Matzah Shira. Cotton like a little child. It's talking about what you could give a little child to eat on Erev Pesach. She'einem Yoidim Masha Musaprim Lehem Yitzias Mitzrayim. You can't talk to them about Yitzias Mitzrayim, they won't know what you're talking about. Mutar Achila Matzah Be'er Pesach. Because it all depends on you shouldn't be eating what you could be yaitza, but that child's not going to eat savir, or he doesn't know what he's eating. Kol hayoim, v'filu b'layla kaidem kiddush. Mitam she'nizbar b'simen shin lam gimel. V'av api she'osel ha'achal ha'kotten b'yadayim dvarim asurim. Afilu einem asurim al midivir sofrim. You're not allowed to give it to him to eat. Mikol makom dvarim she'einem asurim machmas atzfon. Ela shu zman issa k'goy matzah be'er Pesach. In other words, you can't give a child to eat something that's not kosher. But over here, it's not a question of not kosher, just because of the time. It's a Issa's money, it's called. Kaidem Kiddush. Mutar achilim b'yadayim. This you're allowed to give, you're allowed to serve it to them. Im hein tzrichen lekach. K'moshe mutar achilim b'yadayim b'yom ha'kippurim. V'eim ha'anim ma'asan afilu yichelim. If the child is very young, so you got to give him food to eat, because it's not, the food is not also, the time is also. Abba kotna tana sheyesh b'hem das v'hovim mashem esapim lem yitzis v'sayim b'layla kegoin k'moshe yizbayeh b'simen tofayin zayin is also l'achilim be'er Pesach. Sharei nema v'garat levincha b'yem v'hulema babu zeh also, and babu zeh hainu matzu mora menachem u'fanechem v'im hatinik more kreisa mimatza hek shayach leimele babu zeh, because he'll be wondering. He said, I ate this already during the day. Yesh noigim shrei lechem mora be'er Pesach k'dei sheyachrenu b'layla l'tei oven. וכן שלחו ביום ראשון של פסח, כדי לאוכל בגלל שני לטובן. In our case, Sunday afternoon, you also can't eat more. There's a lot of people when they eat fish, they put chain. So it's a shal, because chain.
Chain is not mar, you know.
וכן נוהגים קצת בני אדם, למעט באכילת מצה, ביום ראשון, כדי לאכול בגלל שני לטובן. That even matzah was Pesach, you could eat matzah, and you have to eat matzah for the Suda, so you have to limit during the day. אבל יש נוהגים להחמיר עוד שלא לאכול פרס בערב פסח. This is another עוד ביום ראשון של פסח, כדי לאכול חרייסס בלילה טהרן. I mean, this is similar to the minhag not to eat anything that's on the kaida. ואין לאכול של מנהג ההוא. And that כי החרייסס אין מצווה לאכול, it's not a food that you eat. אלא כדי לבטל הערש שבמורה. Just there's some poison in the mortar that just kills it. שלא יהיה זקנו. ואדרבה, also לאכול הבא ממנו עם המורה, וצורך לנפץ, all of hamora you have to shake off with the mortar. שלא יבטל טעם המורה, that because it has also some liquid in it that you put in it before the Suda begins, right? ואם כן, למה לא יאכל פרס ביום? So therefore he doesn't agree with this minhag.
And you could eat pears.
Yeah, right.
With my mother, you
But
only
our
use my
minhag
mother.
is that they suppose you don't.
But let's spend one more. יש נוהגים להחמיר. יש נוהגים להחמיר שלא לשבר על פרה המצות בערב פסח, שלא ישכח ויאכל מהם. In other words, don't do anything with the matzah. Let's finish Baruch Hashem. V'yechol mehem. In other words, the people. These are people that eat gebroks. So what they do is they make the not the matzah, they make matzah falafel to have it prepared. So there's a v'gam u'minig zeh ein lachush. The key v'sheinu rogel v'matzah kol hashana ein chayshish Hashem yishka v'yechol. V'oid the key v'sheis achilas matzah v'pesam ein el medivus sofrim ein machmirim kol kach. Okay.